All right, get your boards out, friends. Boards and markers. There's napkins over there.
Can I have the
What?
Thank you, Sarah. Bye, Sarah.
Bye.
If I can't have my people, you can't have
Huh?
I made a joke saying she doesn't care about the word.
Of course she does. Playing something in 3/4.
I realized recently how different
what do the
she
drums
runs
sound like?
things.
It depends.
It does. I just realized.
Do you want it to be like a waltz feel?
Basic.
I know.
Just like
Boom,
basic.
tap, tap, boom, tap, tap, boom, tap, tap, boom, tap, tap. Tap, 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 tap. Speaking of which, your first melody day is in 3/4.
Look at that. I predicted.
That sounded like Justin Bieber song.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, please. Sorry, my apologies.
I was making sure it was.
Yeah, of course.
I don't know. Jack.
Yeah, you're right. Yes. If everyone could turn around and ominously point at Kylie's camera face. Yeah, thank you.
Is it a wide one?
It is.
Okay.
It can. Alright, everybody. So, we're in A flat major. Let's sing A flat major. 1, 2, ready, and. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, si, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. It's a Celeste.
I was close.
Okay.
Is that the glass ones?
That's a glass harmonica. Not glass harmonica.
What's an
glass
harmonica?
harmonica.
What is it?
Oh, is that the one Ben Franklin made?
It is. Well, he made a version of one.
What is it?
Isn't that just, it's just a marimba, but instead of wood, it's
No.
glass?
Sort of. It's when you play with your fingers and it like the glasses rotate.
Oh,
You can do it with bowls or wine glasses, but
never mind.
that's a glass harmonica.
too.
I know there's
I
an
wanna feel
instrument.
one.
You should.
I know there is an instrument like a marimba, but
Wait,
the
how come
pieces are cool.
Yeah, they're
What?
glass
What
marimbas.
kind
There's
of
like,
My favorite
Glasses
instrument
that
is
you
the
use?
wind
usually
chime.
crystals.
My favorite instrument is the steel guitar.
Yeah. me
It is
too.
very fun to play.
Anyway.
Ooh.
Okay.
Are wind chimes pentatonic?
Not always. You can get them in different tunings.
Usually are they?
They so like the kind that you just like go and get to put in your yard. Yeah, those are usually pentatonic tunes. But you can get wind chimes in all kinds of tunings. It's a weird thing, but you can. All right, here we go.
Blues
1,
scale.
2, 3, 1, ready, and. Oh, I played that slightly wrong.
You played it in 4/4.
I did play it 4/4.
Yeah.
Let me play that again in 3/4 for you. 1, ready, and. That's it. It's 3 measures in 3/4. Sorry, I done goofed. How are your rubber bands?
I'm about to get my braces off though. I have more rubber bands.
Okay.
So this is triplets.
Yes.
1, 2, 3.
It's not triplet.
It's not
It's just 1, 2, 3.
Right, because this decides whether it is.
1, 2, 3. 1, ready, and.
Is it 3 measures?
It is.
There's no downbeat.
I got it.
So it's an A flat.
3 measures. It's an A flat. One, 2, 3, 1, ready.
Okay, well. God.
What's going on here?
Do you guys want a banana?
I would love
I
it.
don't like banana.
Do you want a banana
I
too?
would love it.
Can I have the yellow one?
Yeah.
Okay. Smith, we
Can I
got
have a
one.
banana?
Yeah, of course.
Thank you.
Smith, we have one just
Smith,
for
we
you.
paid money for that.
He paid $2.
It's banana time.
All right then.
The worst thing about this is this is on
Hobbies is
recording.
broken.
Cheers.
Oh, hi Kylie, you're missing out, man.
Cheers.
Cheers to you, Kylie.
Cheers.
Pros.
Caden, do you want to say a toast?
Yes. I genuinely love this class, and I love all you guys. Y'all are really fun.
Oh, how sweet.
I love you too.
Cheers.
Cheers, Caden.
Now I have to play it one hand. 1, 2, 3. 1, ready, and. It's important that the bananas be hoisted on high while.
Just
Play
for
it with
everybody to
crowd.
see.
Triangle. Best flavor. Yellow.
Actually, these are pretty
They
good.
don't sound bad. Or, they don't sound bad. They don't taste bad.
They don't sound
bad
They
either.
don't sound good.
Speaking.
I don't know about
Do you hear the sound?
All right, last play. 1,
Pretty
2,
nutty.
3. 1, ready, and.
You're squeaking in time.
Next, 4/4. This is in the key of. What key difference is that?
Oh,
Is B flat minor? This might be B flat minor.
Yeah, that's pretty
I
flat.
remember now.
No, I don't. Start blue.
It is. It's in B flat minor. Let's sing B flat minor. 1, 2. We're ready, and. Let's do that again. For me, 1, 2.
Where'd that go? My cap is
All
in
right.
my hand.
4/4. 2 measures.
That wouldn't happen.
4/4. 2 measures.
More of a banana than.
1, 2, 3, 4. It's a good one.
Are you talking about the banana or the red?
That's actually a really nice melody.
It is. It's nice.
And he plays right. That's pretty
This
impressive.
time.
No, you gotta keep it.
Just like
I have a
my.
banana peel out on my car. It's been there since Monday morning.
What was the
What are you
tempo?
guys looking at that? What does it do?
Okay.
It's a circle too.
Yeah, but like, what do you need it for?
Hey, Smith?
Oh, so it's to see what the notes are on it?
Yeah.
Okay.
oh, it's,
What?
yes, CD.
Never mind.
You okay?
Yes.
You seem
Never
concerned.
mind.
B flat minor. 1, 2, ready, and. Oh no.
Aw.
1,
They ran
2,
out.
ready, and.
Oh. That's nice. Oh my
Sounds like
goodness.
Sherlock.
A little bit. A little bit.
You said 2 measures?
It is 2 measures.
Did it go flat one there?
Oh, when you hear something cool.
It is
Smith.
diatonic, by the way. It's all
Yeah.
diatonic.
It's very easy once you get what you're doing. I kind of. Yeah, I have it.
I like that.
It is
What
nice.
was the key again?
B flat minor.
B flat.
Wait 1 second.
Are you doing what I think you're doing?
I think he's doing what he thinks he's doing.
What? I do think I'm doing what I think I'm doing. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yes. You do? That could be like a lullaby.
It has that vibe to it. The instrument helps that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
You should have wrote it down when you had a
I don't know
chance.
what I'm doing.
Da, da, da.
I would.
That's why
I
my.
don't think I Okay.
What on
My
earth?
cat ate my earbuds one time.
Do G flat?
They
Were they
fell in my
wireless?
pocket.
Do they actually eat them?
Not like the actual, just like the little, not foam, the little like.
Oh, the tips?
Yeah.
You can get those replacements.
Yeah, it was just we.
Say, if the cat ate a Bluetooth headphone, that cat's about to have a real bad time.
If it did, you should play music from. Yeah, so you can hear like in its belly.
Oh, yes.
I would
That's
never give Bluetooth. but I would
100,000% what I would do to a cat.
I mean, you
What
have
it
like what,
deserves for
4?
eating.
3. 2.5.
Would the cat be able to
2.5? Where'd the other half go?
Lengthwise. Anyway. 1, 2, 3, 4.
What?
What? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yep, that's it.
It's a lot
2, ready,
It was going so
and.
good.
You would think for things that I wrote, I'd be capable of playing them, and you'd be wrong.
Could Bach play
Doing
those things?
Yes.
Could he always? Could he always?
Probably.
And I gave you luck. And now
Last time. 1, 2, last, play, and go.
Oh. What?
I just had an idea, but it's too late for my idea to be put to use.
What's your idea?
You said Bach, and then in my mind, I just thought of Jacob Collier, and then I was like, oh, what are some good Jacob Collier songs? And then I thought of All Night Long, and then we could probably do a jazz version of that, but it's too late because you already did it.
And it's also way freaking too hard. Even the original version of that song is pretty legit. Like it's cool. It's really cool, but it's hard. All right, rhythm time. 4/4, 2 measures.
How did he do under them?
4/4, 2 measures.
Do me a shirt. I would
Oh.
have picked it.
I
would've
should
picked
have.
that.
I'm
I
sorry.
really
There
like
was
that.
so much. I liked it a lot too. There's already too much stuff on there though. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Can you?
4/4.
4-4.
I actually did not get any of them.
Can you share did you send a link out for it? 'Cause I couldn't.
Did you not vote?
No, because I wasn't here.
It's already voted.
Oh,
The decision's already made.
dang.
So,
Rolling
I
in
got
So
three or
it's
four.
Rolling in the Deep, My Girl, and
I'm happy about
Sir Duke.
Sir Duke.
Yes.
And then
It's
not
not
Sir
in the
Duke
same
and
key as
Cantaloupe.
that. Yes.
I don't think it is. I didn't check, but I don't think it is.
What?
Man,
If it's in the same key as the original. I'm almost certain that the original's in E flat.
Just to share.
Thanks, Bob.
A lot of those like big Stevie Wonder jams are all in E flat, hilariously. Superstition is.
That was like this 15.
Yeah, right. Gosh.
Sorry, buddy.
Oh.
It just gets
Spain?
smaller.
No, he didn't write Spain.
I don't know.
Gosh dang it. Not Pastime Paradise.
isn't she lovely?
No. Gosh dang it. My brain is such trash right now. It'll come to me. But his other big one is an E flat too. Anyway, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hint, there are no triplets. There are no triplets.
How do you
1,
write that?
2, 3, 4. Ooh, the key stuck on me. They get a bonus play. 1,
Sticky keys.
2, ready, and.
Man.
Oh, I see.
Are you doing
I'm
anything
not good with anything
Farther
bigger
than
than an eighth
eighth
note.
notes?
I don't
Or
know
I
how to
guess
write those.
smaller? I guess it would be smaller, wouldn't it?
I don't know how to do this.
This is the tricky one.
That's what my father said when I was born.
Is it a tricky one?
No, I don't know how to do this.
Are you
Did
doing
you say it was 2 measures? Or-
Good,
I'm
yeah.
playing it incredibly accurately. It is 2 measures.
Okay.
I'm being very precise. 1, 2, 3, 4. highly syncopated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't figure out where it is.
1 and 2
and
yeah.
up. 1 and 2 and up 3 and 4.
It could be.
And
could be
up
either.
3, E.
So.
1 and 2 and 3 and
There's a
up.
couple of tricks in here, but like, well,
No. Okay.
1,
I
2,
might be wrong.
3, 4. Do you know it? Never mind.
You know there's like a lower one?
I can't.
It's mapped to the note G, but I don't know what note it's actually performing.
I don't know how to write it, but
This
I
is,
just think I
this is
know.
definitely the Viva La Vida.
Sounds like that.
It is an A, yeah. It's funny.
Paradise Island
This is
from,
monkey's
Big
game.
Lock, too.
Low distant monkey. High distant monkey is something else. No, that's also an A.
I
You're
have
not
a
gonna
suggestion for brain
Like a
break
little bit of
today.
a
Okay.
Listen to Paradise Island from Big Lock, too.
Up
like-
top by
it's like-
Busty Brass.
Let's see what kind of time we
I
have.
think
We
it's
got.
Busty Brass.
Like two.
All right. Next one is 3 measures, 9, 8.
I will give anything if we can actually do the dark side of the
Busty and the Brass, my bad.
We'll do the dark side, not today, but we'll do
Well,
it.
yeah, that's okay, just
Are we gonna do the
that's
D&D
good.
session?
Yeah, at the end of the year. At the end of the
Oh,
year.
music,
After
like,
8.
incorporate
That's
music
fine.
theory into
After
D&D.
No,
Celeste's
just
born.
D&D.
I have my
Oh.
D&D today.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Sorry. 1, 2, 3. 1, ready, and.
Is that 4 measures?
No, 3
3 measures. There is no downbeat. There is no downbeat on the last measure. So there, it is exactly 3 measures. 1,
Is that a splash?
2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Did it change pitch there?
It did kind of.
Oh. Interesting.
It does have some velocity sensitivity. It's kind of funny.
Oh.
What is that? Is it a go-go bell?
It's supposed to be a cowbell, but it still reacts to the pitch bend.
Can it be a go-go bell now?
There is a go
Wait,
bell.
does this monkey react to the pitch bend?
It does.
Does
That's what I was just thinking.
Anyway,
Yeah, good.
Fan face.
1, 2, 3. 1, ready, and.
I counted it all out. Now I just need to remember what I counted.
That's exactly my issue, dude.
Just start with 1 measure at a time, because he plays it multiple times.
That's what I do, except it takes me the
I'm so
first
glad I
4
brought
plays.
this. Oh
No violence, children. No.
Oh, it's not
I will throw it down there.
Cut it, cut
You,
it, cut
I
it, cut
know
it,
you
cut
will.
Cut it with what?
it. Scissors,
Your mouth.
teeth.
That was in the French room. That's been touched by French people.
Yeah, French.
That is definitely.
Show
I'm clipping
where
out.
it's
Can I
just
get
these
this
4
video? 'Cause I
women
wanna clip
trying
that.
to get a French
I would like to
husband.
clip
I
that.
provide them
Chat,
to you
clip
all.
that, please.
I want
I'm going to Paris too.
No, it's on here.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
that you're
what
talking
I'm-
about?
that's-
Oh, I'm
yeah.
sorry.
And they're gonna be
I
like,
want it sent to me. So
you're
I can
ditching
everything that's happened today.
Oh yeah, we need the toast and the bananas.
wah wah baguette in their face.
Wait,
Wah,
wait.
wah.
All right.
Wang is actually, yeah.
It sounds like his baby.
Yeah? Yeah.
Wah.
Wait.
Red.
Oh wait, I thought we had another
Oh,
play.
wait, I thought we had.
Oh, do you have the play?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes, we do.
That's fine. I'll give you one more play. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, ready, and. There you go.
And the rumble of the thunder.
Well, it's in too.
I love your boxes.
Lovely.
They're so pretty.
All right.
Your eye twitched when you. Hey, that's the Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Hilariously, we might actually listen to this. Smells Like Teen Spirit today. Next.
Just barely have room for that.
He hasn't been mean yet.
Okay.
Next.
I don't like it.
That's a high no. Wow.
Play it not lower.
I'm gonna play it down.
Can you play it all the way down? Like the lowest
Yeah,
possible?
that's right.
That helps.
Why did it sound
Shakes the entire foundation of the building.
Last one.
That's not very hard to do.
Did the ground
Oh,
shake for
wait,
you
what?
last night in the middle of the night?
Yeah, it's thunder.
Okay. Yeah. I've never had that happen before. It scared me a lot.
About 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
I'll trust you.
Do you not trust? Do you not trust?
Government.
Sounds about right.
Why did I put 2 twos?
I think I got all of those notes.
Good.
The government is the one who derailed that train in Ohio,
Yikes.
and the one who tipped that truck over in Arizona with the chlorine gas.
Yikes.
I love chloroform.
Okay.
No, not chloroform, chlorine.
Chord identification. Chord qualities.
The cord. Never mind.
Quality.
That sounded like a Wii sound effect.
It does.
Like you
kind of.
turn the Wii on. And
Oh yeah.
it feels
boots
like
up.
something you would hear when you turn
God,
it
I
on.
miss the.
I still have
so
my old.
much.
Yeah,
Actually,
you
no, my cousins
disconnected
have my
your
old Wii,
controller.
and it was. It's got some really wild stuff on it.
Main thing I miss on the Wii is Mario Kart.
Yeah,
That's why you just got a Nintendo.
I had a Mario
But
based
they're
one
so expensive.
They are.
Super
Yeah.
something.
I'd rather
I
find
can
a
find-
Wii in a parking lot.
Oh,
What?
Number
really?
2.
Yours?
Yeah, Mario.
Oh, wait,
no.
I don't want that one. I want this one.
Okay.
There, that's what I want.
Okay.
That's what I want. I want this one.
I have no room.
You don't
That's
have.
why you draw
Plenty of
boxes.
room.
Yeah, you have plenty of room.
God, lion.
In my heart, there's
Well then, suffer. That's all you can do. That was a
Sorry,
good
there's a lot of spit.
I will throw a banana at you.
one. You're out of bananas.
Number
I
3.
have another.
You have another?
Uh,
Where is another? Where did it come from? Where did it come from?
Ah!
That's a 7.
Augmented?
Oh, highly of it, yeah.
What?
All right, the last one is.
Good, bro?
The last one is the last one.
Oh,
Wait,
interesting.
Figure it out.
it's a Among Us. Among Us.
I do hear that.
Among Us.
Kylie
Among Goose.
torturing me.
A
Among
goose?
Us.
Among Goose. Oh,
Among
goose.
Us.
I lied so much when I played that game.
What if we didn't
What?
pronounce like
I
the
lied
first
so
like letters
much.
of
I've
every
never
word?
lied more
I think
than
Among
that.
Us taught me how to gaslight my friend.
Okay.
Panic attack.
The progression today is in B flat. I'll play it on piano just so it can be a little easier. Now, I'm going to warn you, this one has 2 inversions and a secondary dominant in it.
Oh,
And
great.
the inversions on the secondary dominant.
It's possible.
Yeah, it's very possible.
Yes.
It is possible. Now, there's also a dirty trick in this one. So.
That's a, you're,
Yeah, but
you're
this
always
one's.
doing
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
This one's real.
Oh, so we're in B flat major. Let's sing it. 1, 2, are ready? And. Surprise!
that. That's one of his dirty tricks.
Jazz.
I guess one of these days I could start doing really horrible things and like say, oh, by the way, this is the key of A major.
And
That
just
would
lie.
be mean.
Specifically
Hayden,
the
did you
case.
see your colors still?
Yeah. A is red.
Whenever people found
That's how
out,
I knew Distant Monkey is because it was red.
when theory teachers figure out that somebody has perfect pitch, they usually just start saying, okay, we're in the key of D major today. And then just play it all not in the right key. Yeah.
What is it?
I would just do solfege.
Yeah. Still in B flat, I haven't changed keys. I just
How about Star Blue?
Okay, here we go.
No.
Huh?
What have you done?
There are 6 chords.
That was awesome.
Why does the bass line sound like the same?
Because it was.
Yes, old-fashioned rogue.
It'll be very fun when I play the bass line for you.
Serenity.
Okay, B flat major. Here we go.
Wow, it changes once.
Medication, and I think I need a higher dose.
Oh. I just heard that.
That's not me. That's just a saying I have.
Oh.
I'm fine.
Just an idiom of yours?
Actually, no. I don't know.
I am.
No, the whole, no, you gotta get the whole thing. I
What
think
the
I'm,
bizzle,
did you
y'all?
know that I'm on medication? And I think I need a
Sorry.
higher
Oh,
dose.
that one. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
One. Sorry. Yeah, I was just going off of your joke.
I
I
thought
know,
it
I'm
wasn't a
in
joke,
the
though. I
Yay!
just,
Here we go.
I just misspelled busy as bussy.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, got it.
This class keeps me alive. /J.
Breathing usually
Breathing is a great way to say water.
All right, bass line time.
B flat, B flat, B flat, B flat, E flat, B flat. Any berry part ever,
Got it.
except for
I
Jen.
don't know why, but
That's
every
what I
time you
did with
move,
my-
it
with
scares
Needle
me.
Media.
I think I have trauma from sitting next to Kylie.
Ew.
I don't
What does
know.
Kylie do? I literally never look down that way.
Here we go.
We're always pestering each other. So.
I think my favorite quote from you, Elijah, is "What the bizzle, y'all."
What's
This is a
your
great
favorite-
quotation.
What is your favorite?
Sorry for
I
the
know what that
inconvenience.
is.
There's too much bussy on board.
You don't like a plane.
I hate
Just
that.
remind me while I
You don't have
disassociate
to.
out of existence.
Can I leave?
All right, here we go. Last play. 1, 2,
My all-time
ready,
favorite quote.
and.
It's very good.
Oh, I forgot to change chords there. Sorry.
There you go, boy.
There we go.
I have it down to 2. It's either I'm not gonna ask the stand's consent to tighten it, or
Oh, no.
don't you dare touch my boiling water.
I don't know which one of those I said, but I feel like I said at least one of those. Was the stand one mine?
That was,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm like, did that stand out?
Oh wait, we should have like a
Or-
game where
or
like we
you
try
don't
to.
know how
No,
I
no, no,
spend
no.
my
Hey,
weekend.
Christopher, we should have a game.
Let's say that.
Christopher, we should have a
Okay.
game where we try to
But I
guess
mean,
who
that's-
said
that's
what.
Okay.
Oh, that
Of
would be
the
really
quotes.
fun though.
All right, here we go. Let's see how you did on this.
C, D flat, C, B flat, C.
A flat, E, F, G.
Okay. So, what's the first note? C is correct. What's this note? D flat, C,
B flat,
A A flat,
Oh.
Really?
B flat,
Oh, wow.
then it repeats exactly. C,
Yeah.
D flat, C, A flat,
B flat.
B flat, and the last note is
A flat.
A flat. So it's mi, fa, mi, do, re, mi, fa, mi, do, re, do. Let's sing that in solfege. One, ready, and mi, fa, mi, sorry. Oh. So mi, fa, mi, do, re. 1, 2, ready, and mi, fa, mi, do, re, mi, fa, mi, do, re, do.
Are we ever gonna have to like write them on staff paper?
At some point, probably
That
we
would be
will.
really, actually, that would be kind of
Yeah, I mean, that's
Right.
that's sort of kind of how you have to do it on the AP test, sort of. So, yeah, eventually.
cool. That
Okay.
actually sounds good.
This one, probably one of my more
But we
favorite
haven't been
melodies.
doing these.
B flat.
B flat,
A flat.
D flat,
F,
F,
A,
A flat,
yeah.
G,
F,
F. And then it does almost the same thing at the
B, D,
beginning.
F,
B flat, D flat,
A
E
flat,
flat?
F
F,
again, G, E flat,
B,
F.
B.
I
Uh-huh.
don't know
G
why I
flat,
made
it
G
was G.
flat.
It is G. Oh, that is non-diatonic, isn't it?
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it is non-diatonic. Sorry, there's a non-diatonic note there. You're right.
Well, it doesn't help now.
Nasty.
I like this better.
Yeah, it's supposed to be. It is supposed to be that.
Yeah, I thought so.
See, that's
If you put G natural or if you put G flat, then that's
G
understandable because
natural
that
makes more sense. It sounds better.
it does sound better. Yeah, it does sound better.
It's weird.
Well, it's because it's based in melodic minor, and so that would be the melodic minor instead of the because that's 6, right?
Yeah.
So that would be the melodic minor 6 instead of the natural minor 6. That's why it sounds better. Yeah. So technically, it's not that it's non-diatonic. It's just it's melodic minor instead of natural minor. So, yeah.
It just.
Look how adorable.
So-
Okay. Okay.
I have really bad aim. So, I like this.
This is the rhythm for Bobby A2. 1 and 2 and a E a 4 and
That's
1
why
and
it
2
sounded
and a E a 4.
I was right.
Oh,
I
wait.
was kind of. I was.
1 and 2 and a E a 4 and 1 and 2 and a E a 4.
I have it.
1 and 2 and a E a 4
It's
and
over.
1 and 2
Bobby
and a
A2
E a 4
lost.
is coming back. I'm gonna program it and you're not gonna be able to stop me, you bums.
Isn't it also the Viva La
justice
Vida
for
rhythm?
Bobby.
Huh?
Is it
It's
not?
very similar. Ba 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 ba. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 3, 4.
Justice for
It's similar, but
Bobby.
not quite the same. I agree. Justice for Robbie A2. It was miss.
Play that somewhere.
I actually did. I did vote for that one.
It was.
Could have
What?
paired it with
Bobby
the
A2.
choir, and it could have been.
Yeah, I don't know that they were gonna want to sing it. 'Cause
I would.
I would have actually
Hey,
wanted to vote.
yeah.
I get it. I know you represent a percentage of the choir. between the
That's
two.
true. Most of them probably.
A
would.
non-zero percentage. But okay, then the 981. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1 lolly, 2, 3 lolly, 1 lolly, 2 lolly, 3. 1 lolly, 2, 3.
Ah,
Splat.
I got that one.
1 lolly, 2, 3 lolly, 1 lolly, 2 lolly, 3. 1 lolly, 2, 3 was the answer.
Do it again. I was-
1 lolly, 2, 3 lolly, 1 lolly, 2 lolly, 3. 1 lolly, 2, 3.
Okay.
How's
I was
nine
looking
counted?
at it.
1 lolly, 2 lolly, 3 lolly, 1 lolly, 2 lolly, 3 lolly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
I put.
And what was it
Okay.
again?
I put.
I'm joking.
I put. For some reason, I put 4 beats in a measure. So that's 12/8.
Well,
That's 12
Who said this quote? You're one of those
is it a
people.
perfect 5?
Perfect 4.
Perfect 4?
That sounds like something I would say.
I
It's
had
B4.
I had perfect 4 first. Was
What are
that
the notes?
Huh?
Like
B4.
Kylie?
No, that was
The notes.
Oh.
Okay, the next one was this one.
Ascending
Ascending
major G?
minor
G
third.
flat.
Minor 3.
It's a G B
No.
G to B flat.
flat. Almost there. Finish it.
Whatever. Oh, it was the lick. Yeah, it was. It's like in a weird key. Anyway, all right. This was the next one.
Descending minor second.
It's a descending M2 minor second. And then we had this guy.
Perfect 8.
Descending
Major
Flat
seven?
down
It's
to
a
B.
descending major 7. B flat
That
to
was
B
really-
natural.
That sounded really weird.
I
I
can-
think it's the sound.
It is.
The
The timbre of the sounds can really, really change your perception. Again, it happens on the AP test though. They do that. They will play it on different instruments.
What is timbre again?
Timbre is the.
Is it like the
Texture.
like?
It's not even really the texture because texture is a different thing too. Timbre is, if you want to be like real precise about it, it's the exact pattern of overtones associated with a specific instrument. But like most people would say, it's the sound of the instrument. That doesn't have to do with
How it
pitch or
sounds.
dynamic or rhythm.
Okay.
Right? The
So, like-
thing that determines that you can tell what this is versus,
Right. Okay.
right?
like how I like to think about how we can all tell the difference in each other's voice.
Yes, which is the exact same way.
Yeah.
It's via the pattern of overtones
Yeah.
in our voice.
That's true. I didn't think of that.
Yeah, that's your brain has all those patterns memorized.
What?
Okay, this one was great. I really enjoyed this. I liked this one a lot. What's the first chord?
Minor.
What? Wait,
Is that
that's
what you played?
No, I
I
don't
know you
think
played.
that's
I
what
think
you
that's
I
what
played
you
Dom
played.
7, I
Yeah, I'm
promise.
pretty sure you played a dominant.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
Play.
We all got Dom
We
7.
all-
There is one in here, but it's not
I
there.
have
Yeah,
minor.
it is.
Is it
Oh, wait a second. No, I thought we were doing the chord progression. I'm sorry. We're still doing the chords. You're right. That's the first chord.
Dominant 7.
It is a dominant 7. Sorry, my apologies. Yes. I thought we were doing chord progressions.
Minor.
Yep, that is a dominant 7.
Okay.
Then I played this one next.
Major 7.
Major 7. Right. The best sound. Great sound.
Sort of.
I think it's. Then I played this.
Major.
Major. Yeah, just major. Yep. Major. And then sus 4. It's sus 4 instead of sus
I thought it was
2.
2.
Sus 2 is this.
Ew, I got your marker on.
Sus 4 is this.
Yeah. Oh, really? Okay.
Hard to tell the difference. So this was sus 4. What's the root here?
I was hoping it would stamp onto me.
Now you're putting me on the spot. I
You
didn't
carry
hear
that
the
any other
piano.
time.
That's the best.
So we had
Choo choo.
G sus. All right. Last one.
Jesus.
G sus.
Wait,
Okay.
there's a tiny bit.
What's the first chord of the chord progression?
One.
1 or B flat. Okay.
One.
Now here comes the fun one.
E flat 6/4.
It's an E. Yeah. Okay. It's an E flat over B flat. So what Roman numeral is it then? 4, and it's with the B flat in the bass, so it's 6/4. So it's 4/6/4. Major or minor?
Major.
Major. That's important because the next one is
Minor.
G minor
In the bass.
over B flat.
Set 3.
So that makes it it's a 6/6.
What? Oh, that's goofy.
You're goofy.
I know.
Because remember, G is the 6th chord of B flat. G's are minor, and it's still got a B flat in the bass, so it's G6.
It's just.
Like a.
Can I predict it? Another B flat in the bass.
Oh.
Now,
5, 7, and 4.
what
That's what I
what
thought.
does this sound like? What kind of chord is
Oh,
this?
it's German.
It's not a German. It's not a German.
Sounds like
Well, okay. Technically, sure, you could call it a German, but it's not functioning as a German in this case.
Okay, no.
Because Germans are dominant 7s, but that's not what this is.
Wait,
I thought
that's
you were
not a
going to say
German?
something very different for a second there. Okay.
What
Oh, you're going for it, are you? Okay.
What'd you say?
Just like a PG-13 movie, you get one and you're going to spend it this time. Okay.
What'd you say?
Germans don't function, is what she said. It's not where I thought she was going. What is this chord in dominant 7?
7 and 4.
Now, what is the root of this chord?
You said A flat, so I'm trusting.
It's not A flat.
You lied.
Oh,
When I played the bass line for you,
It's just B flat.
Oh.
it's just B flat. So how in the world could this be a B flat 7?
5, 7, and 4.
Yeah, good. It's a 5/7 of 4.
Because the next one is 4.
And then the next one is,
And then a 5, and then a 1.
oh,
and
the
that's
only note change is a 4, and then we're back to
5.
not
I
5.
4, 5?
We did a plagal cadence. We did a 4 to 1. We did an amen cadence.
Oh, I have 7 down.
Amen.
Amen. Yes.
I only missed one.
Man.
So how'd you do?
I only missed.
I got the last part.
The 6-6. Okay.
Man.
Yeah.
How many of you got the secondary dominant? The 5-7-4. Okay, 2 of you. That's not bad. What do the rest of you call it?
I thought it was is A flat 7 not going to E flat?
It does, but this isn't A. That's not A flat though.
That's 8.
Okay, I thought it was the oh.
Said it augmented 6.
An augmented 6. So what I played. So I'll play it again for you.
I
B flat. Okay. E flat over B flat. G over B flat. So then you have B flat 7, but it's really a 5-7-4.
I was treating
Two.
E flat like it was the 1.
That's
Or no, that like it was the 5
yeah.
and A flat,
Yeah.
which was 1.
I get what you're saying. This does kind of feel a little dominant D, but it's not. Cool. Yeah, nice job, everybody. Nice job. Okay, I'm going to pass out the homework to you for today,
Nope, you are not going to.
and we're going to talk about it. I threatened this the other day, and today the threatening it is made real.
Maybe
Threatening
take a
has come
small
second.
break. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll talk about this, then we'll take a small brain break.
Okay.
Now, you need a pencil here because I'm going to have you write the instructions on this because the instructions are not what it says on here.
Ooh. So it's lines have their.
No, this is going to be a multi-day homework assignment.
Oh.
We're going to do this progressively.
I like that. Okay.
What music excuse me?
Okay, so I told you that we were going to start analyzing actual pieces of music.
Oh, no.
And you've got 2 of them here. We are going to listen to these in a second. They're both quite nice pieces.
Excuse me.
The one on the front, the one that paradoxically has the 6 next to it, even the one on the back has a 5 next to it.
I'm holding a hostage.
So the Spore clarinet, oh my gosh. Hey, no, don't rinse the ball joint. Oh God, you're going to strip the ball joint.
Oh no.
Let's not, why is this getting moved?
I don't know. I'm just here, man.
Okay, let's leave the camera where it's at.
Sorry, Kylie. Didn't mean to play with your head.
Okay,
I sent that thing
Okay.
over the piano.
let's have a seat, everybody. Okay,
Smith, I'm struggling to stay still. I can't do this.
so the instructions for today's homework are for both of these to only write down lead sheets. You are not going to analyze anything in terms of Roman numerals. We don't care about what they're functioning as. I only want you to put in what they are. You're going to analyze the chords for what they are, not for what they're doing. Okay?
Maybe.
Now, the other trick to this is you'll notice that it doesn't tell you when chords change. That means that you have to know when the chords change. The thing I want you to write down next is only label the chords when they change. You don't have to keep writing the same chord over and over again, right, if it doesn't change. Now there is kind of an art to this, but that's what I want you to take your first little baby step into here. We are going to probably have some fights about this in terms of what does this actually do? Or is that really a new chord, or is it not a new chord, or whatever? Now, we're moving into the phase of theory class now, where you have to think about this for what it is. Music is art, right? It doesn't always perfectly follow rules.
He's smiling.
Indeed. It doesn't always have to be structurally flawless in terms of like, oh, this goes to this, goes to this, goes to this. Sometimes chords are a little ambiguous in terms of, is that a new chord? Is it not a new chord? You know, that kind of thing. So a lot of this is going to come down to opinions and, well, I think it's this, here's my support. I think it's this, here's my support, right? And that is good, because it's art, and that is sort of the way it needs to be. I will tell you that listening to these is going to be tremendously helpful for you. So if you get lost in if this is a new chord or not, the question you should ask yourself is, does it sound like a new chord? And the only way to know that is to either play it yourself, if you've got the skills and the stuff to do that, or, much easier, just to listen to it, right? Now, both of these are conveniently pretty easy to come by, so that does make it a lot nicer. So, in both cases, front and back, that's all you're doing here, is you're labeling the chords. It's just lead sheet stuff. You're not doing any Roman numerals. You're not trying to justify what it is and what key. You're just looking at the chords and calling them what you call them, okay? Don't worry about any other aspect of it. If you come across a chord that maybe doesn't make a whole lot of sense, circle it and say, let's fight about this, or I have questions about what this could possibly be. Are there going to be non-chord tones in these? Absolutely there are. Are there some spicy things? Well, if you read the instructions, you know there's a Neapolitan chord in here. And it's quite obvious, but there is a Neapolitan chord in here. But right now you don't care about that. You're just analyzing the chords. And a Neapolitan chord is just a chord that has a certain function. We don't care about that right now. Yeah.
So how do we analyze the chord when there is no chord to be analyzed?
Now, so this is a good question. This is true on the other side too. You can talk about implied chords. An implied chord would be something like this. I'm not playing a chord,
Or when you play it all together.
Yeah, you're, okay.
but I'm outlining a chord, right?
You're just arpeggiating.
And you can make arguments about, is your ear going to hear that as a chord or not? And sometimes that's down to the way it's played. Sometimes the instrument or the player sort of makes you feel like it's an implied chord or not. Bach is famous for that kind of crap.
Because he uses those triplet runs and stuff
Exactly.
all the time.
And they outline chords constantly, but they aren't necessarily fully stated chords, but they're just outlining chords, right? That happens all the time. All right, so let's listen to the clarinet one first. That's the longer of the ones.
So will the first,
So, go ahead.
will that be like a chord in general, or does it matter?
Hold on.
Well,
For the ultimate must-have, Mini Fashion Series 2. Over 100 to collect. Out now.
I'm Duke, and I know that finding the right home repair contractor isn't easy.
This isn't what's on the page yet. I'll point it out to you when we get to it.
Is this 5 or 6?
That's it. Oh wait, this is it. Sorry. This is it. That's it. Okay. So, there's a riff there. This is a really famous clarinet piece.
Ben?
You can find this link. It's right there on YouTube. You just got to make sure you know where it starts. So, like it says at the beginning here, it
No.
starts at measure 23. So if you're listening to it, just make sure you know exactly where it begins. You can timestamp it or whatever if you want for this. Okay, so your goal here is only to lead sheet the chords, not to do any analysis. Okay? Is everybody clear on the instructions?
Are
Cool.
we doing analysis next?
That will be the next part of it, right. But I want to make sure we all know the lead sheets, and then we can fight about what function they're playing.
I'm so excited for this.
This is good. Okay, next is the Schubert String Quartet.
Actually, I've gotten used to it.
That is really gross. I used to do
Yeah,
that.
it's fine. It's kind of on the back. That kind of bothers
I
me.
used to do that when I was younger because my computer would. Yeah,
It sucks.
I didn't have a mouse for my computer, so I used to track.
I actually had to bind right-click to R instead of the trackpad.
Are you playing Minecraft?
Yeah.
No?
Can I
He's
play?
not right now.
Oh yeah, right clicking was
Oh, are you?
so bad.
I thought you were playing.
Yeah,
chess.
so if I play something or use something, it's R.
You
Disgusting.
built the whole house?
Yeah.
Dude, I
That's so
progress.
cool.
I progress so slowly in Minecraft.
I don't know. I got a bunch of 90s.
You never wear belts. Why do you
I
wear
have
belts?
30
I
something
always
diamonds
wear a
when I'm
belt.
playing
No,
for
you
like a month.
don't.
I
Yeah.
have my pants are
I
qualified.
never
I
see you
also
wearing
have
belts.
Just have a shirt
Even
on.
still, I
I don't
didn't
usually
use
take my
diamonds
shirt
until.
Oh, that makes
He looks
me
like a
feel
dork.
He looks
Wow.
like a bisexual.
They
both.
They've
I
tried.
bought the other ones.
They tried.
We both
I
do?
have this one bookmarked
Yes, you
though,
both look very
so I
bisexual.
can go straight to it and not.
You cannot tell me otherwise. Like, it looks like you straight up went to Regan's house and stole her wardrobe.
And I mean,
This is
you'll be
mine.
able to
I
find
know,
it.
but you
Like,
dress very
Eagle
similar.
craft is very popular. And it's
Ah,
Oh
beg
yeah,
to
I've got a
differ.
sick basement too.
I just
There's
recommend-
nothing in it, but
How do we
I recommend.
should add.
Like, okay, you're not too big. Like, Regan, I usually
I
see you
recommend
do
exporting
extra
your
type of
world.
stuff.
I recommend
We should
exporting your
add-
world so that when you give them output, you can move it to another mirror.
We should
Really,
add
she's
the-
wearing my wardrobe. So you're racing. I was like,
Bro, I haven't played the server in so long. I'm so far behind.
I really, that's my
Because I don't do stuff without the
I'm
typewriter.
sorry, I don't like those.
Yeah, but it's great.
I know, for you, and like, I would never do that. Why?
We're not there yet, but
Is this is 5? Right?
this is 5. We're not there yet.
It doesn't have the time series.
Right, it's okay.
I'm assuming it's, yeah.
This is it.
Those chords are kind of obvious. So
And then it goes from there. And it rips.
I like it.
I'm gonna do this one first. This seems way too.
So you might want
It's kind of
to,
outlined on its own.
like I said, you can find this one too. You just got to know where it starts. A quick thing about the conventions of naming stuff in classical pieces. Very often, you can see both of these have OP numbers. OP is opus. OPUS. So opus is just the Latin word for work. It's very common, unless you're like a big-time major composer, that when people either wrote the pieces themselves or when somebody went back through and categorized them or cataloged them, they assigned them OP numbers or opus numbers. In this case, Franz Schubert, who wrote this one, this is opus 168, number 1. For the most part, most people's opus works are only referring to a single piece. There's exceptions to that, where sometimes an opus might actually, like an opus number might be like a whole bunch of pieces. That's sort of the situation with a few like super prodigious composers. But, so for the first one there, or for the Schubert one, the one we just listened to, it's opus 168. For the Spohr, it's opus 26. That's just a way to make sure that you're listening to the correct piece, right? Some major composers, like Bach doesn't have opus numbers because he never labeled his stuff that way.
He's too good for that.
He has BWV numbers, which is done, it's the initials of the person, the very German person who spent a lot of their life just categorizing Bach's pieces and trying to put them in order. So they run from BWV1 all the way to BWV 1080, which is the Art of Fugue. It's the last one that Bach wrote before he died. But the problem is that people keep finding new Bach pieces, so there's like, they're now using like A's and B's to like try to categorize them out. So he wrote way more than 1,080 pieces, like way, way more. It's just that some of the BWV numbers now are split in like A, B, C, D, which is hilarious. I was hoping that maybe one of these days you get to the point where Art of Fugue would have to go out all the way up to TI just to be hilarious. Anyway, so and Mozart has K numbers, Cockle numbers that for his. And those get messed up too because he's got a gajillion pieces. Okay, so questions about the homework for today? It won't be too bad. You're going to have questions though, and you're going to want to fight about some stuff, and that's fine. That's exactly what I want.
I always want to fight.
I understand. Your tendency towards violence. Okay, cool. We are going to listen to some stuff because we're going to talk about form today, but I'll let you have a brain break if you want. I need to go to the bathroom actually.
Oh, yeah. Hey guys.
Hey boys.
raining.
It sure is blue.
I'll be back in a moment.
It's
Pretty dark out there.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
Man, it's dark in here.
I wanna see what. I wanna see what.
You're so broken. Why are you taking your shoes off?
That's not my shoes!
I would.
They're like,
Take someone else's shoes.
whose fucking shoes?
Those are mine.
I'm headed back to class without shoes.
Why did you take your shoes off if you're going back to class?
We're not walking over to the middle school, are we?
I hope
No,
not.
I doubt it's not gonna make us.
Man, it sure is dark in here.
She's gonna be like,
You know what I did when I was young? I walked through a tornado to get to rehearsal. The floor was lava, and I walked through it to get to rehearsal. Y'all can walk through a little bit of rain.
A little bit. No, I got a flood
Hey, Kaden. Yeah. On your Chromebook, can you look up what key Sturduke is in?
It's in F minor.
It's in F minor.
Yeah, actually, I just completely made that up. I don't know.
What? Be shame if someone just kind
It's in B major.
what does that mean?
What major?
B major.
B major.
O B major.
of with the shoe. She's slowly
My mom got these for free.
Really?
Yeah, because she works at a school, and they were meant to be donated, but no one took them.
That's
So-
not B major.
They just gave it to my mom.
Oh yeah, it had an enchanting table.
And I don't know what we're gonna do with them. We're probably gonna donate them somewhere. 'Cause we've got like an
Guys.
and most of them don't work.
Yes.
One of my college buddies just sent me this, which is extremely niche humor, but
Oh, I seen that the other day.
I don't get the Vincent Van Gogh, but I get the other two.
Vincent couldn't hear?
No, well Beethoven.
he only had one ear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the RCA cables, component cables, the yellow carried the video signal, the red carries the right audio signal, and the white carries the left audio signal.
Yeah.
So Vincent Van Gogh only has the right ear, but not the left ear. You can see Beethoven can't hear but can see, and Stevie Wonder can't see but can hear. Mwah!
Top tier.
Flawless.
Hey, is that C minor?
Content.
Yeah, go ahead. Is that C minor?
This one here is.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
That sounds like A flat major, and that's G.
Oh yeah!
I can't wait. Just when it's time for everyone to sing, and you just choose the wrong note. It's like have you heard the F sharp wrong note song?
I have not known.
All right, I know what we're gonna. Here's our brain break song.
Right click.
Options, controls, and then buttons.
Ooh. Good luck seeing, Kylie.
I changed that.
Guys, it's kind of dark in here.
Here, do you want to mount
Guys, I can't see anything.
It is so good to be back.
Good
playing
luck
for
seeing,
you.
Kylie.
This is our first show of 2023.
I've been having a little problem recently, which is quite disturbing musicality, involving a semitonal discrepancy, vocally and instrumentally. You see, musicians of different varieties prefer playing in particular keys, and singers too treat preferentially.
those notes they tackle more proficiently. Now, you don't have to be a member of Mensa to understand the depth of my dilemma. The two elements of me favor two different keys, thus the rift betwixt my fingers and my tenor. I like nothing more than playing instruments in F. It warms the very cockles of my heart. The trouble is that F can leave me vocally bereft, you see. I like playing in F major. Singing in F sharp, F sharp, F sharp. I refuse to be beholden to my hands. I don't see why my larynx should give in to their demands. I'll not be forced to compromise my art. And so I'll just keep playing in F major and singing in F sharp, F sharp. I'll keep playing in F major, but I'll keep singing in F sharp.
So anyway, I want the equivalent of that, but for your final.
What's his name?
Oh, if you would ask.
My seat.
Hold on a second.
Reagan took mine.
Where did I put my phone at?
Take Reagan. I don't know.
He does a bunch of stand-up stuff. It's really funny. Tim Minchin, that's it. All right.
It's like playing fetch.
Tim Minchin. Okay. So, get your notes out for me.
I gotta use the bathroom.
Go quickly. Get your notes out for me, because we do have some stuff. Put away chess and let's,
It's not chess.
Try not to drown, guys.
It's
I would never
Minecraft.
play any game ever.
Ben. I want to join this actually. Give me a
No, we're not playing Minecraft during class.
Ed,
I can see
it's dark in here. Where'd the sun go?
I can't.
Who put a scorpion on the moon?
Let the sunshine. Let the sunshine.
I need to figure this out.
I think it's raining.
It is indeed raining.
Oh my god.
All right, for real though, no Minecraft. Put it away. Put it away. Put it away. Put it away.
Oh my
Yeah.
Hey, I do have
So, a couple days ago, when I wasn't here and you were, and I made you all try to do homework and you suffered. The suffering was caused since I didn't really teach you the form thing all the way. And I tried to have you do what I was, we talked about phrases, but we didn't talk about anything beyond that. So sure, you can make the argument about not at all. Now, I thought that maybe you guys could fight and suffer through it, but that was maybe a bit too much.
That's what I did.
So we're going to go through and talk about song form today, and actually make sure that you understand how it works. This isn't a huge deal in terms of like, especially with the AP test, but since this is most people's conception of music, it's important that we at least talk about it. And that conception is verse-chorus form. So verses and choruses are referring to, for the most part, like pop-style songs. But before we even get to that, I need to back up a little bit and have you write down the word song. Because there's actually a real definition for what a song is, believe it or not.
Song. S-A-W-N-G. Song.
So, what differentiates a piece from a song?
So I feel like a piece doesn't have lyrics and a song will usually have lyrics.
Not
No.
that easy. If
So-
only it were that easy. That can work. Like if you're talking about really, really rough terminology, that sort of works.
Is a song a piece of a piece?
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Is it?
So, not really.
But yes.
So, I played for you a couple days ago that not Schoenberg, the
Marching band thing?
no, the piece with the kid riding the horse through the woods.
The Elf King.
Elf King, right.
Instrument.
That is actually a song. it belongs to the tradition of what's called art song. So songs initially were story-based lyrical pieces, meaning they're pieces that actually have lyrics to them. Now, what makes this what makes this complicated though is that songs don't always have to be sung. There can be lyrics that are like written down but then played by an instrument, and that would still qualify as a song. There's a really famous example of this in the Holst Suite. The second movement of the first whole suite in F is called A Song Without Words, of which the composer wrote words to the song, like wrote lyrics, but never intended them to be sung. They were only ever played. That's a beautiful piece. Da, 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 da. It's really, really pretty. It's a beautiful piece.
Can't you make anything into songs though? You can just add lyrics to the melodies.
Okay, so that.
That was hilarious, guys.
So you can make that argument, sure.
Like if you have one word, does it like tequila? That one word
does that make it a song? Okay. So this gets a little bit complicated in terms of other things too, because the word song in classical music almost exclusively refers to a piece that was intended to have lyrics and tell a story. Nowadays, when people say songs, they just use to refer that to everything. It becomes a generic catch-all for literally everything. They would, people will describe, oh, I really like that Beethoven symphony song. And that isn't correct, because they're using song to refer to any piece of music when that's not at all the correct terminology for it. There are songs that are classical pieces, right? But there are not symphonies that are songs. No. Okay? Yes?
So, would does it actually have to be intended to have lyrics?
That's a good question. So in general, if lyrics are added to a piece of music, that does not automatically make them songs. I can't think of any specific examples at this moment, but can you?
Not really, but I was gonna ask, is the movement 5 of my solo a song?
It could be. It could have initially been intended to, if it has that sort of sense to things. It is very common, especially in concertos, which is what yours is. Your piece is a concerto. Concertos are featured instrumental soloists, where one of the movements is intended to be a song, right? It's intended to feel like it's supposed to be sung with lyrics, even if it doesn't get sung or have the lyrics printed. It can be done in that sort of style, right, where it sounds like a singing style. Yeah?
Why do people not care about Moonlight Sonata, the second movement? Is there a reason behind it?
Okay, you're asking specific questions. So movement 2 is weird in terms of movement 1 and movement 3.
It's kind of the more boring one.
It is, well, and
in my opinion.
it's almost more like an interlude than it is like a real movement by itself. Because it's very light and sort of funny sounding, but it's sort of strange.
The other two are just more notable, I guess.
Well, and they're more notable for the time period and what was happening in Beethoven's life when he wrote them. Because it was at a particularly traumatic time. He just got broken up with, essentially. And that in that context, all 3 movements actually make a lot of sense in that context. When I say broken up with, it's not even quite that simple. Is that he was trying to start a relationship or continue a relationship with a woman who was above his station. Beethoven was poor, was really poor. He added the von to his name without actually being any real, able to claim that. Von is like saying sir in German. So he's like, Ludwig Sir Beethoven. But he wasn't noble or royal or moneyed in any way. He was pretty poor. And so when he was trying to marry this woman who they were in love, but her family would not allow her to marry him because he was too poor. And that realization is where he was at when he wrote Moonlight. So movement 1 is super tragic and sad, which makes a lot of sense. Movement 3 is like, all right, cool, let's just burn Earth. That seems appropriate. But it's that second movement that's really interesting. And if you've ever been in that mind space before, sometimes you get those weird, horrible, in between times when you're not happy or sad, you're just sort of there.
You're numb.
And movement 2 is like the perfect embodiment of that when you know that context.
Did any of that have any words, or did
No.
all of his emotions
It's
just
all, so it is not a song in any way. That is a piano sonata is actually what it is.
So a sonata is like one instrument? I don't know.
Generally speaking, yes. But it's not meant to be like a concerto where there's like somebody who's backing them up. There are piano concertos, but a piano sonata is generally a solo work for an instrument. It's almost always piano.
Do you think the streamer is related to
The streamer?
Ludwig, there's a streamer called Ludwig.
I doubt it. I'm unfamiliar with who this is, and that's fine with me. Anyway, that was a out of the blue question. Now, so a song is a specific thing, though. Okay, and in classical music, a song is a specific thing. But this is not referring to that. Song form in this is referring to songs in the way that you think of songs on the radio. But those have a place they come from as well, and this is something else I want you to write down. A lot of American songs have one of two real early versions. They come from a specific place. And when I talk about America, it's sort of important that I'm talking about America in this sense. This isn't just like America-centric, it's just that stylistically song form as it exists as a musical form really comes from America. And the two places that comes from are a place called Tin Pan Alley, which you should write down. T-I-N.
Tin
Pan, P-A-N, Alley.
Is that, did you talk about that in music history?
Oh, yeah.
It sounds really familiar.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Where is
Is
that
that where,
New York City.
Yeah, that's where all the dudes kind of collectively agreed on all of the pieces of music, right?
Kind of, sort of, yeah. So Tin Pan Alley was a location. It's literally an alley, as the name would suggest, where a lot of composers lived or had apartments or offices or a tenement or whatever. And composers like George Gershwin, Irving Berlin, Jerome Kern, all those kind of folks. And they, for the most part, made their money writing stuff specifically for Broadway. They were writing songs for musicals. This is the source of what sometimes is called the Great American Songbook, which is something else I want you to write down too. The Great American Songbook is not like an actual physical book that you can be like, let me go get the Great American Songbook from the library. Okay, it doesn't exist like that. The Great American Songbook instead is more of a loose collection of music written by composers in generally the late 19-teens, 1920s, and early 1930s that were initially meant to just be popular songs usually used in Broadway. A lot of Great American Songbook songs have now become a part of the jazz standard library, basically, of like, oh, this is a jazz standard. Again, a thing that doesn't have like a written form. There's not like a list of jazz standards.
Well, because all they wrote in the 20s was what, jazz.
Well, jazz was the pop music of the time period. So logically, the pop music of the time period would end up with having a lot of songs in musicals that were sort of jazzy in their conception. This is exactly like how nowadays most of the music that you hear as pop music is essentially a combination of R&B and disco, which is really what it is. So you could say that, of course, all of these songs nowadays are like, if we were going to make a Great American Songbook of the 2020s, it would be a weird combination of R&B, disco, and what's this? It's vibrating.
There's
No,
a
it's
million
not.
tiny ants underneath.
Oh.
There's a layer of air.
The Leidenfrost effect. Anyway,
It's a very.
I thought that was when lightning goes.
I did not expect
Leidenfrost is boiling liquid caught underneath something. That creates a vapor barrier. It's not what's happening there either, but it's like that.
I'm gonna record
Do you know a lot of science stuff?
I don't know what you're talking
I'm gonna
about. Okay,
put the camera at you,
so
just be like surprised.
the Great American Songbook was written by lots of people in Tin Pan Alley. A huge number of songs, and I mean like hundreds and hundreds, maybe even thousands of songs written during this time period are actually songs, okay, that use this idea, basically verse and chorus. with the occasional pre-chorus and bridge. Okay? So that idea of song form really comes to popular music in the 19-teens, 20s, and 30s from Tin Pan Alley. Or the other main source for a lot of early American songs is something called vaudeville. Just spelled capital V-A-U-D-E-V-I-L-L-E. Capital V-A-U-D-E-V-I-L-L-E. Vaudeville.
Where was that?
Vaudeville is not a place.
What
Vaudeville is a style of entertainment. Now, this gets into all kinds of stuff. I'm sure you remember all of this. And there's literally like a 2-week part of music history class where this is sort of talked about in lots of different ways.
Was vaudeville the bad one?
No, vaudeville is the less terrible version of the other thing. Do you remember what the other one's called?
Bad.
It's there. I know it.
So I will rephrase this.
He's trying to get away.
Vaudeville is the broad term. There's a specific subset of vaudeville that's called minstrelsy.
Yeah.
That's the real bad stuff.
Yeah.
Minstrel songs and minstrelsy in general is the mega racist part of vaudeville.
Oh.
Yes! The not casually racist. Mega racist. We're not talking about that.
Good.
Even though it's historically
Like
a thing.
when they would get black actors, paint them white, and then paint them black again. to
Well,
make
yeah,
it
that's
look
the
like
extreme form. The more early form was just white actors
black.
in blackface performing as black performers, specifically as a pastiche. It's bad times. Bad times. It's all bad.
When they couldn't do
America
that.
is really terrible.
When they couldn't do that.
You're just realizing this?
So anyway, it's not that America's terrible. It's just that the early history of American stuff includes a whole bunch of really horrible, ugly things. That's just what it is. Now,
I forgot a lot of what I learned in music history because I took Sheffield's class and I fell asleep most of the time.
so vaudeville
Love the young.
is really a kind of a combination of stand-up comedy and like magic shows.
So like
Las Vegas Strip.
Yeah, or think like late night shows, late night entertainment
I was
shows.
trying to think Charlie Chaplin.
Jimmy Fallon.
Okay, the idea of silent movies is very closely related.
Okay.
It's not like 100% the same thing, but a lot of early silent movie performers started as vaudeville performers.
Did Chaplin come before or after Hitler?
Before.
Well, and contemporaneous, because the Little Dictator is meant to be a
Yeah.
straight making fun of Hitler.
Yeah, but it was before. He was before Hitler, wasn't he? Like,
Yeah, he started before Hitler, but he was still alive when Hitler was coming to power in like
Yeah.
37, 38,
I
39.
love in silent movies when they cut to like words on a screen
Title card.
explaining. Yeah, I
A little
love
title
it.
card.
How it goes back and forth. It's so silly.
So a lot of the performing aspects of early sound, like, movies that didn't have any dialogue,
They
those
play
performers were very vaudeville trained. Like they're designed to be physical comedy and like slapstick kind of stuff, but communicate a lot of things via body language. That idea is very, very based in vaudeville. But vaudeville stuff was able to be heard because it's all live. There is no way to record things in the 1870s, 80s, and 90s when vaudeville was really popular. There was no such thing as recordings.
Oh, so like they just.
It had to be live. Everything was live. Yeah, there's no recording.
That's interesting.
Yeah. And it's hard for us to think about a time period before you could just like casually record literally anything, including sound. But all this stuff, right? All this stuff is before any recordings could be made.
I actually thought recording came before live streaming.
Well, of course it did.
What?
Recording came before live streaming, of course.
Yeah. Well, like that's the same. That's still live stream technically, right?
Performing something in real life, I guess you can call that live streaming,
that's
and
what
that
I meant by
the
that.
light rays from me are bouncing off of me and streaming into your eyeballs, I guess from that standpoint, sure.
I'm lost now.
I'm gonna clip this.
Vaudeville existed before the ability to make any sort of recordings of any kind. Audio,
Vaudeville is not
video.
Twitch.
There were
I mean, live
early
streaming
photographs
aspect
that could
in general.
exist by then, but there was literally no ability to record sound or video.
Sound, okay.
There was no audio or video recording of any kind in this time period. So the only records that we have of vaudeville stuff is what people talked about seeing and like what productions there were talked about. So you had things like, oh, okay, you know, this joke came into being, like the first time that people were talking about like chicken and egg jokes, like why the chicken crossed the road, that joke came into being during vaudeville times. Like early versions of your mama jokes literally come into being during vaudeville.
I wonder what the earliest. I wonder what the earliest your mom joke is.
It's I don't know for certain, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there was going to be one somewhere. I mean, because making fun of somebody's mom is pretty standard. So I'm sure there's earlier versions of that too. But
1500 BCE.
There you go.
I wonder
what was it?
It was a "Your Mama's So Old" joke in 1500 BC. Anyway.
Your mother.
Anyway, so.
Your maternal figure.
But a big part of vaudeville were songs, singing songs, especially in this area. There's a composer from Kentucky named Stephen Foster who wrote lots of songs, like "My Old Kentucky Home."
Really?
And he wrote "My Darling Clementine," "Oh my darling, oh my darling, oh my darling Clementine." A lot of those songs started as vaudeville songs, and also basically follow this verse-chorus form. Okay, so that's just some background crap. You don't really need to know all that. It's just there for your own musical knowledge and education. Let's talk about what this stuff really is. So there are essentially, and you do need to write this down, there are essentially 5 pieces of a song that get very commonly used. Okay? The first one is really simple, an introduction.
Is that like talking?
It doesn't
Or
have to be.
Is it?
It can be like just like a musical intro and stuff like that.
Okay.
It's just usually, it's usually quite short, usually 4 bars,
They do that
sometimes
with
8.
some albums.
I always expect
Sure,
them to
but-
be short, and then they do like a whole nother couple bars, like twice the amount of time.
Sure.
Did you say introduction is the first one?
Uh-huh. So introductions are usually short, usually 4 or 8 bars long, sometimes longer, sometimes shorter. Some songs don't have introductions. Some songs just get straight into it.
Like how Don't Stop Believing starts off with just the piano.
Right, that would be an introduction.
This website wants me to pay 99 cents to see this your mom joke.
Yeah, don't do
Well, I would say it's 99 cents for
They
you.
wanted
That
to
would be like the best your
you-
mom joke.
You spent that much money on a banana.
On 2 of them.
Even
Were they both
Uh,
or were they both
They were both $1. I spent $2.
Next is the verse.
What would you rather?
Verses, which you should definitely write down, verses usually happen after introductions, and verses contain lyrics, usually, that tell a story, okay? Generally speaking, verses are where the storytelling of a song is done, if there are stories to be told. Which, even though some songs have verses, there aren't many stories to be told. But I'll stop making fun of modern pop music.
No, I hate it. I hate
It's
everything
fine.
about it.
There are some good ones.
There's
Yeah.
some good ones, but
On
it's in a-
occasion, like
it's in an
every
ocean
decade.
of terrible ones.
What's the one?
Yeah,
Astronaut
they're
one
made
with
to
the
be-
ocean.
Yeah, I don't even.
Cake by the
They're made about
Cake by the Ocean? Cake by the Ocean is an awesome song.
No,
No.
it's one. It's
I
like
like it.
It's okay.
I hate all of the words to pop songs, but they feel so nice, and that's why I do it. I always focus on how the actual songs
They're
sound.
well
That's-
produced.
That's why
Yeah,
I
very well
State of Funk.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a good place.
that's why.
Uh,
I just
It's a happy
So,
place.
verses, very, very commonly, will have multiple versions of them in a song. It's not uncommon to have 3 verses in your average 3-minute pop song. If you've got a really long song, it's probably got a whole bunch of verses. I'm thinking of like American Pie has like 500 verses or something, okay? And
Bohemian Rhapsody.
you don't always have to have, Bohemian Rhapsody isn't even a song. It's almost like symphony form.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild.
Which they
Um,
purposely try to do, right?
Absolutely, 100,000% yes. Yeah, Queen doesn't play around. They don't accidentally do anything.
Did they
Oh.
take like any? Do you know if they took any classes or what? Like,
So-
did this exist? Like, music theory classes exist in college or high
Yeah,
school? Or
oh, yeah.
whatever?
So
Gaga.
Freddie Mercury was super highly trained. Like
Yeah.
he was not like just some idiot singer. Like he had a lot of musical backgrounds. The guitar player for Queen, Brian May, who's still alive, knew also a huge amount about music in general. He also has a doctorate in rocket science. He's an actual, yeah, Brian May, lead guitar player for Queen, is a literal rocket scientist.
That is epic.
It is, yeah.
That is. Did he go
He's
back into
completing
that?
all the
He
side
was
quests that
doing all that.
possibly
Yeah, he did. Yes, he did all the side quests. He was in school studying stuff when he was in Queen. I think he stopped when they were like big, and, you know, and then went back and finished his.
But like, does he
doctorate.
use that to this day? Or
That's
is
his
it-
job.
That's okay.
His job is in rocketry. I mean, I think he retired from that, but because he's old now, but he's still alive.
You know.
Yeah, so that dude, you know, he literally, he did it. He won. But all that aside, it is also possible for verses to not have anything between them. One verse can just go straight into the next verse. You don't always have to have another thing that comes after it.
Choruses are not verses.
No, and that's the next thing that I want you to write down, which is chorus, which is spelled up there for you.
Is the plural form of chorus?
There is. We'll talk about that. Huh?
Is the plural form of
Of chorus is choruses. Yes. I wish it were chori. That would be awesome. But it's not, unfortunately.
There are
So
3 chori.
The chorus is like the hook is the way it's often described. It is the main part of the song. It's the part that you can sing along to. It's usually the catchiest part of the song. And it repeats exactly.
Yeah.
Choruses do not change. Verses change. Choruses do not change. Or they change very, very little. Sometimes like they'll do something clever where the chorus will change a little bit. But generally they stay the same.
Yeah. Is it weird that I like pre-choruses a lot better than choruses sometimes?
Yeah. You're a punk kid, aren't you?
Sometimes they're really good.
Yeah, sometimes they are. We'll talk about pre-choruses in a second, but that's not one of the main things. Okay? So, intro, verse, chorus. The next thing is what's called a bridge.
Bridge math?
Not bridge math, just a bridge.
Love bridge math.
A bridge is a thing that occurs exactly once in a song, unless you're talking about something really weird. But a bridge is usually a thing that only happens one time. And generally speaking, it's the most musically interesting part of the song. It doesn't always have lyrics. In fact, usually bridges don't have lyrics. And it's when, if there's going to be like some kind of a musical trick that happens, like a key change or like a really big timbre change of some kind, it'll happen usually in the bridge. Sometimes songs even shout out that they're going to the bridge. That's a very standard James Brown, Justin Timberlake kind of style of thing to do.
We're going to the bridge now.
I mean,
This is the bridge of the song.
shouting out. So a lot of songs that are like have very loose structures, like a lot of James Brown songs did. Like especially when they were being performed live, it's when he would say, "Take it to the bridge." Like, okay, done with this section. We've done this long enough. Head to the bridge, which then restarts the rest of the form. Bridges, generally speaking, occur after the first half of the song. They're usually like almost exactly at the 2/3 point of the song, most of the time. So bridges, like if you've got 2 choruses or 3 choruses, it's really common to go intro, verse, chorus, verse, bridge, chorus. That's a really, really standard format. So right before the second chorus, you would have the bridge. Like I said, they're usually the most musically interesting. If there's going to be a time where the chords change, like if it's only a 3-chord song, and maybe they happen to throw in, hey, look, we learned a 4th chord, they'll show everybody they learned a 4th chord in the bridge.
They're so proud.
We'll hang it on the refrigerator.
Imagine them going like,
Oh, look, yeah. Look, my hand can move this way on the neck. Oh my God. So that's extremely common. Then if you have a final chorus, it usually happens after the bridge. And then there sometimes will be sometimes very inelegantly called an ending, or hilariously an outro, which I think is the funniest term for that. But it's usually just an ending. Or if you want to be really fancy about it, a coda.
I think outro is where it's at.
There are various ways to interpret this.
What about instrumental parts?
Excellent question. So there's a couple of different ways. If a song is going to have like a solo in it, it can happen in a couple of different ways. Usually, a solo takes the place of a verse, like an instrumental solo. Usually, it takes the place of a verse. That's the most common way it's done in like pop and rock and stuff like that.
But whenever just the two of us is playing, like the part with the sax solo, he's still kind of singing just the two of us.
Right. There are times when bridges are occasionally used as solo sections, which is actually kind of the case in just the two of us. That's really the solo section, especially the way that we did it, is really kind of where the bridge would normally be in the form of that song. Very rarely you'll have songs where they use the music from the chorus as a solo. It happens, but it's not super common. Most commonly, it's going to be the verse. Sometimes it's the bridge. Rarely, it's the chorus.
Can it be the intro?
Can be. Yeah, you can have songs that start with solos. That's really common.
Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, Zeppelin did that kind of thing a lot. Billy Joel does that a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff from the 80s kind of did that. But yeah, you're right, though, Zeppelin does have a lot of that, where it starts with...
A lot of just solo music.
And weird, and like, well, obviously Stairway to Heaven is a really classic example of that, because it starts with that recorder solo,
And like
which
that,
is really unusual.
on like the subject of like intros to doing that, like Queen did that a lot too.
Queen does that a lot too, yeah, where things start with solos. Or vocal harmony solo, things like that, yeah, it's true.
Zeppelin, so I don't get the joke.
You don't know what a Zeppelin?
I don't know what it is.
Zeppelin is a type of blimp. So prior to World War II, I can give you all the historical context you want about this. Prior to World War II, after Germany had the armistice put on top of them where they couldn't build certain things, especially large flying things, they got around that by building huge, technically not flying, but lighter than air ships.
Just build it so cool.
Well, and they're technically not blimps.
Hydrogen.
They're called dirigibles is the actual term for them because they're solid body. They actually have a frame inside of them.
Yeah.
Blimps don't have a frame.
Well, blimps
So-
are cool.
Blimps are just
That
balloons.
genre thing.
They
I
are
don't know
cool,
why we
yeah.
stopped doing that.
Because they're not very efficient.
Well, I
they're
know that
slow.
there was that one incident, and that kind of lost
Wait, what
popularity.
incident?
The Hindenburg.
And it just like blew up.
Which
Yeah.
was
And,
a
like,
Zeppelin. The
it-
Hindenburg was a Zeppelin.
What did it?
Aren't
blow
So-
up?
they're just filled
Did
with
it
like
blow up?
hydrogen.
Oh yeah.
They
right.
were, yes.
Hot fire.
You could have them with helium too, but helium isn't as efficient as a lifting source as hydrogen. So, hey, I'll give you the history if you just listen. I can literally tell you, I know it, not about everything, but I know about dirigibles. So, Zeppelins were the general name for German rigid airships. They're named after Count Graf Zeppelin, who was a was a German air commander, a Luftwaffe commander during World War I. It wasn't called Luftwaffe, but it doesn't matter. So basically, their way of getting around building massive, giant, terrifying airships was to build what they called Zeppelins, and they were gigantic. So Zeppelins, like
Are they bigger than blimps?
they are,
Yes.
they're So like Hindenburg is like 3 football fields long.
Oh my god.
It was
Like
massive.
they're ungodly huge. Like they are truly massive things.
That is nuts.
They don't weigh very much because they're filled with hydrogen. Initially, or
How
that
many
one
people
was.
can they carry? A lot.
So the Graf Zeppelin, like the biggest one that was built, could carry like 60, 70, 80 people and all of their crap across an ocean in the 30s.
Oh my god.
Right. So like
That should not be real.
it shouldn't be a thing, but it was. The Empire
Was
State
that-
Building was initially
and was
built to
that
have
before
a
recording?
Zeppelin mounting point on the spire. The whole reason why it was so tall and had that big spire on top was so it was a mooring point for blimps.
Wait. Mounting? Would it just sit there and float the entire time?
Yeah, because
Okay.
it could.
I
So it was just a place to tie the blimp to, essentially, where people could get on and off onto the building. They could leave. It's like an airport
have they ever
for
used it for
blimps.
that?
It was used for that, not very often, but it was initially used a few times for that. And the reason why it stopped being used is because, oh the humanity, boom, explosion, catch on fire, kill a lot of people.
Yeah, let's fill
Because they
this.
filled it with a gas.
Because they filled it with hydrogen, right.
Let's fill
What is it
this.
usually filled with?
Well, nowadays we use helium, but we're running out of helium on Earth. The moon has a lot of helium.
So does the sun.
It does.
The sun has quite a bit of
It
helium.
does. That's a little different, but yes.
I'm pretty sure it is on fire.
I think
Semi-permanent
It already went
explosion.
further
boom.
than
Now it's on
fire.
fire.
But yeah, the moon has a lot of helium-3 on
Miss
it,
Cole, I
which you
don't
can
know why I
mine
raised my hand to
hilariously.
ask you a question.
You want to ask me a question?
Anyway,
So is
the joke with Led Zeppelin is that initially, because if you listen to real recordings of Led Zeppelin, they were real jammy. Like, if you listen to
You
live
like that?
recordings of them, they're very
I
loose
walked-
on stride. They're like this far away from being a jazz band. Like they're not jazz in style, but in terms of like how free and improv-y and open it is, like you hear all the versions of Led Zeppelin songs, you're really just hearing the one version that they recorded that one time over and over again. If you can dig up the old live recordings of Led Zeppelin, they never sound like that. They're way more crazy. And not random, but like really, really improv based. Like really improv based.
I like
And
more now.
so the reason why they got their name is that one of their first music producers said, this is gonna go over like a Led Zeppelin. Meaning like a balloon that isn't never gonna fly because it's made of a heavy metal. And he was making fun of them, like this isn't gonna work. And so they decided to take that idea of like a thing that works but should definitely not work, a Led Zeppelin,
I love that.
and make it the literal name of the band.
Do you
It
want
is.
some homework? I did my homework. Do you want it?
Give
Did
me-
your homework?
Anyway, so we'll talk more about song forms next time. You guys did a really good job of distracting me from actually teaching. So we'll hit that some more next time. Remember, you do have this homework, and I'm going to want to see it because you're going to need it again the second time when we do the analyzation. But for now, all you need to do is lead sheet it, okay?
Do you think white hole exists?
Is there an opposite of black hole? I think it makes a lot of sense that there would be.
But we've observed black holes regurgitating all the matter that they have.
That they collect at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
So do you think it just, the white hole would collapse and it would
So-
just kinda...
The white holes, it's the matter.
There's a whole lot of the whole thing about like, based on the expansion of the universe, and you can extrapolate ideas about the mass of the universe. And there's more mass in the universe than we can observe, which is where you get the whole dark matter
Where did you
thing.
get this
Hank,
astronomy lesson?
we cover a lot of
We
ground.
just like
here.
talking.
No, I get that.
So, you know, if
It's on the curriculum.
what the heck is dark matter and nobody really knows.
Oh, you kidding?
So,
Ask.
So,
Who's taking my
could
class
there be
here?
a
Do I
such
stay
thing
on
as a
task all
white
the
hole that
time?
is not, that
Do
spews
I stay
out
on task all the
non-observable
time?
matter?
But it's harder. Do I stay on task all the time in class?
Yeah, like pulsars, except they're hugely
Like, I don't know
magnetic
what
and
he's
they
doing.
spew giant, horrifying beams
I have
of
to,
doom
I
at
have to
people
give you something over
occasionally.
it then.
Also, occasionally,
Your mama left her
rip out your
little
atoms.
thing that turns her pages.
That's my favorite.
There's a whole concept that, do you know what the,
It
do you know
needs
what the
to be
Kardashev
attached to
scale
her.
is?
It needs to be attached like
Yeah.
idiot mittens.
So,
We're not even 0 yet, are we?
not one yet.
We're not 1.
Plug
It
it
depends
in.
on,
We won't get
some people think that we're like at 0.7. I think that's a little ambitious. But, so,
We're giving ourselves too much credit.
there's a whole
I'm
idea
so
that
sorry.
if there was a true
I'll
type
find
2
You ever mentioned something
civilization,
about
that they might be using magnetars as communication devices.
When are you gonna have that?
Because they send out massive radio
Before
waves
we go?
that can go across like actual universes and things.
Is that on Thursday?
Tuesday next week?
So,
Dyson spheres.
How far
You're not remembering things, mister.
resident frequency
I remember
go?
sometime.
Because the note of my
See ya.
bathroom fan, my microwave, and my dryer and washer are all A.
Sure. So a resonant frequency
Can I go through
is,
my whole house and it just happens to all vibrate at the same?
so that more has to do with your house than it does the things inside of it. Because a resonant frequency, all,
House
Are we
vibrates.
going? Oh, yes, we are.
so
It's raining.
resonant
Anyway,
frequencies
check out
are a
my brother.
property of matter. In the same
Everyone
way
has
that
been out in the
weight
rain today. We'll just
and
call it good
dimension-
Scottish weather.
Oh, really?
Yeah.